What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for MLB Sunday, August 28th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's MLB slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have an 11-game slate tonight, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. So, stud on the slate that I like, Justin Verlander. He's the most expensive pitcher on the slate, but he's got a good matchup here versus a low salary batting team, the Baltimore Orioles. Justin Verlander, balanced pitcher here, giving up a .488 OPS versus lefties, a .570 OPS versus righties, and a .323 OPS versus switchers, facing a balanced lineup, 3 lefties, 4 righties, 2 switch hitters. The Orioles have only hit 8 of his last 46 pitches. That's a 174 batting average. Justin Verlander is $11,400 FanDuel salary, $400 less on DraftKings, averaging 42 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 1.87. Record is 16-3, pitching an average of 96 pitches per game. So I like Justin Verlander here versus the Baltimore Orioles. Okay, now if you want to save some money at the pitcher position, now he's still a stud pitcher, but he's not as expensive, and he's in a great spot here. I like Eric Lauer, and he's pitching against the low salary batting team, the Chicago Cubs. Eric Lauer only giving up a .669 OPS versus righties, facing 8 righties here tonight. But I like this pick because the Cubs have only hit 4 of his last 35 pitches. That's a 114 batting average. It's a pretty good sample size. And he's only 10,000 FanDuel salary. He's 500 less on DraftKings, averaging 31 fantasy points per game on the season. He has an ERA of 3.44. Record is 9-5, pitching an average of 95 pitches per game. So I like Eric Lauer here versus the Chicago Cubs. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like JT Realmuto. He's got a 27% batting advantage over Roansy Contreras. JT Realmuto batting a .785 OPS versus righty pitchers. Roansy Contreras pitching 26% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .806 OPS versus righties. JT Realmuto is $3,500 FanDuel salary, $2,300 more on DraftKings, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been on fire, scoring fantasy points in all 5 of his last games, nothing less than a 13, and he's got a batting average of 272. So I like JT Realmuto here versus Roansy Contreras. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Luis Arraez with a 36% batting advantage over Jacob Junis. Luis Arraez batting 21% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .799 OPS versus righties. Jacob Junis pitching his worst ball versus lefty batters, 15% worse than his pitch to righties, giving up a .796 OPS versus lefties. Now there's no at-bats versus Junis yet. Luis Arraez is 3,100 FanDuel salary, 1,000 more on DraftKings, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of .319, so I like Luis Arraez here versus Jacob Junis. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. So here's a stud pick for you. I like Manny Machado, and he's batting against a low salary pitcher, Jonathan Heasley. Manny Machado bats 6% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .873 OPS versus righties. Jonathan Heasley giving up a .832 OPS versus righties. There's no at-bats versus Heasley yet. Manny Machado is 4,000 FanDuel salary, 2,300 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games. He has a batting average of .298, so I like Manny Machado here versus Jonathan Heasley. Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. Here's a value play. I like David Fletcher. He's batting against Ross Stripling. David Fletcher batting a .630 OPS versus righties. Ross Stripling pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 12% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .735 OPS versus righties. David Fletcher is 2 for 6 here versus Stripling with a .833 OPS. He's only 2,300 FanDuel salary, 700 more on DraftKings, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season, scored fantasy points in 4 out of his last 5 games, and he has a batting average of .290. So I like David Fletcher here versus Ross Stripling. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. We got 3 studs that are in fantastic spots here. Yordan Alvarez, Mike Trout, and Juan Soto. But take a look at Mike Trout. He's got a 31% batting advantage over Ross Stripling. Mike Trout batting 19% better versus righty pitchers, batting a 1.079 OPS versus righties. Ross Stripling pitching his worst ball versus righty batters, 12% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .735 OPS versus righties. Now Mike Trout is 7 for 11. That's a .636 batting average and a 2.212 OPS because 3 of those hits were home runs. He's 4,200 FanDuel salary, 1,300 more on DraftKings, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored fantasy points in all 5 of his last games. He has a batting average of .268, so I like Mike Trout here versus Ross Stripling. So I also like Brandon Nimmo, Eloy Jimenez, and if you're looking for a value play, take a look at Tyler Naquin. He's got a 38% batting advantage over German Marquez. Tyler Naquin batting 34% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .834 OPS versus righties. German Marquez giving up a .748 OPS versus lefties. Tyler Naquin is 3 for 6 here versus Marquez with a 1.167 OPS. Only 2,600 FanDuel salary, 1,200 more on DraftKings, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He has a batting average of .245, so I like Tyler Naquin as a value play here versus German Marquez. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this MLB slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.